Our journey continues. Aziza Aibadulina and the crew of the Cross Central Asia program traveled to Almaty and Jambul regions. Along the way, they enjoyed wonderful mountain views of Kyrgyzstan. Now it is time to see the sights of Turkestan region. We will enjoy the road and feel happy because of the simplest things like children. 1, 2, 3. In the last episode, we discovered a wonderful love story of Karahan and Aisha-Bibi. Today, fans of holy places are in luck again. In our itinerary, the shelter of all mothers, the mausoleum of Domalak, Anna. And at the end of the program, we will please 3 categories of our viewers at once: fans of extreme, pilgrims and photo tourists with views of the underground cave Akmeshit. With fun, we cross the border areas of regions. And again, we are greeted by the majestic Tian Shan, or rather it is northwestern spur called the Karatau Range. It is located on the territory of 3 regions: Turkestan, Jambul and Kızılorda. In the Middle Ages, Karatau was called Argentau, and all because from the 14th, 15th centuries, the Argan tribe roamed in these parts. The tribe played a huge role in the fight against the Jungars. Argans are beginning to appear actively in various sources during the formation of the Kazakh Khanate. In the 18th century, the bulk of the Argans left their homes and moved to Sarıyakan, following the recommendations of Bogdan Batir. He promised Jibek wonderful pastures for cattle, a powerful argument for pastoralists. Later, the ridge began to be called Karatau. The most central and highest part of the Karatau Mountains is protected by the state. In 2004, the Karatau Nature Reserve was organized here. An ethnographic museum operated in the conservation area and an ecological trail has been laid. By the way, Katerina Koshko shared with us how carefully they approach the creation of internal infrastructure in Yosemite National Park and other reserves around the world. How they organize routes so as not to destroy the ecosystem, how the tourism industry teaches tourists to care for nature. What I liked in Europe and in the US, that everything there is natural and authentic. In other words, if it is a hut, then it is made of stone and it merges with this rock. If it's some kind of house, it's wooden and it's just like these trees. When you look at the big picture, you don't even see that somewhere there is something lurid. It hurts your eyes. It's just all very organic. I would like us to adopt such an experience in Kazakhstan. Why was the Karatau Nature Reserve created? It was necessary to take protection of Karatau Argali. Since the founding of the protection area, the number of the Argali grew from 38 to 300 species. Such results are inspiring. It was also possible to preserve endemic plants. 42 species of local plants are listed in the Red Book. An amazing fact for those who think that chewing gum can only be made from oil. Locals will tell you that in Karatau, chewing gum grows in the mountains. A rubber plant called Tausa Giz was discovered in 1929. If you chew it for a long time, the frozen milky juice of the plant can even blow out small, hard and sticky bubbles. Industrial development projects for mountain chewing gum are being actively developed. Well, we will wait for domestic chewing gum from natural material. In general, if you pass by the Karatau Nature Reserve, be sure to check it out. Mountain landscapes are worth it. Now we are in the mausoleum of Domalak Ana. From Kazakh it translates as Round Mother. There is so much tenderness in this title. The real name of the Round Mother was Nurila. She was born in the family of the keeper of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi Mausoleum. Her future husband, Jibek, met her there. He was struck by Nurila's sharp mind and courtesy. Having listened to the advice of the local foreteller, Jibek married the girl, and he wasn't mistaken. Her mission was truly a female one. She was the patroness of mothers, reconciled tribes and predicted the future. There are many legends about the predictions of the Round Mother. One of them says that once the enemies attacked the Jibek Aul and stole thousands of horses. Sometime later, a stallion from a stolen herd returned to the Aul. Nurila predicted that all horses would come after it. By this time, her husband did not listen to Nurila. With 6 sons and a small detachment of horsemen, he went in pursuit of the horses. In that battle, Jibek was defeated and lost his sons. But the herd still returned. Nurila was right. As the wife of a famous commander who played an important role in uniting the Kazakh people, Domalak participated in the social and political life of Semirechye. There is mention about her in Persian manuscripts. The son of Nurila, Jarik Shak, achieved the high status of advisor to the Tashkent emir. He was the ruler of Semirechye and then the main vizier of Khan Yesem Bugan. Jarik Shak often turned to his mother for advice, recognizing her wisdom and wit. Unexpectedly for a patriarchal society, you would say. But if we turn to the traditions of the pre-Islamic period, then the history of Nurila does not seem extremely surprising. A specialist in the field of culture and art of nomadic people, Ilyas Suleimanov, told us that according to Tengrian traditions, our ancestors came from the foremother whose name was Albirana. This was the era of matriarchy, because the legend says that women trained foals caressing them and put small children on them, taught them to ride horses. Women invented everything. The basis for everything was a woman. A woman was the head of the clan and tribe. It was not in vain that we visited the Karahan Mountains. It was there that Domalak spent her last years. She led a righteous life and died during prayer. Domalak bequeathed to put her remains on a white camel and send it on the road, and wherever it would kneel down, there she must be buried. And they did just so. Later, a mausoleum was built here. Nurila's body found peace on a nameless plain at the mouth of the Balabogen River. Later, the grandson of Domalak Dolat invited the master Abdullah Sharif from Bukhara, and he built a 4-tiered, domed mausoleum over the grave. The original appearance of the mausoleum of 1456 was not preserved. The great rebuilding of the tomb took place at the beginning of the 20th century, followed by the restoration of 1957. And in 1996, the mausoleum was lined with white stones specially delivered from Mongistan. And this has a deep meaning. The white color for Kazakhs symbolizes innocence, purity, mother's milk. It is these qualities that very accurately characterize the saint. Since this place is simply saturated with maternal energy, women who want to become pregnant or improve their female health come here often. And this is called the Alley of Mothers. I can proudly walk through it. The largest branch of Jibek dynasty is made up from children from his youngest wife, Nurila. From her only son, Jarik Shak, come children named Alban, Suan and Dolat. Now the relatives of the Holy Mother live throughout Kazakhstan. We saw a strange sight when we entered the mausoleum. Women roll around the floor near the tombstone. For what? It turns out this way they ask Domalak Ana's blessing for the birth of a child. What else struck us inside? The beautiful vaulted ceiling is decorated with bright, colorful floral patterns. They are fascinating. There is a spring where people can heal their skin problems 700 meters away from the mausoleum. People have long believed in its healing properties, drink water and bathe in the spring. There are cabins and buckets for bathing by the spring. Not so long ago, a hotel complex for pilgrims and tourists was built near the mausoleum, where all the necessary living conditions are created. Now there is the opportunity to enjoy a longer stay at the holy place. In general, in Kazakhstan, holy places became very popular. We ourselves were convinced of this during the expedition. According to the social anthropologist Ulan Beygozhin, this is due to the desire of people to find national heroes among holy personalities. In this process, the role of the state is also significant. In the late 90s, Nursultan Nazarbayev, in one of his speeches, compared the path of Kazakhstan with the path of Khoja Ahmed Yasawi, one of the most revered saints. To find the way to this location, the expedition drivers used the navigator. There is a cave in Jibek district of Turkestan region, 7 kilometers from the village of Kenestobe. By the way, the road laid to the cave is of good quality. We are now 80 kilometers from the city of Shymkent in a place called Akmeshit. And honestly, I had no illusions when we went here. Little from outside gives away about the location of the cave. There are scorched steppe and stones around. Apparently a fire was raging here recently, and yet we did not see a single tree within a radius of many kilometers. We went up to the cave along a concrete path that is transformed into a staircase. At the top, there is an observation deck with benches and a place for rest. What I saw here really struck me. There is some incredible oasis surrounded by the stones which have been lying here since the Neolithic era. Let's see. No one really knows when the cave appeared exactly. For millions of years it was closed and had no communication with the surface. And only in the 20th century a part of the arch collapsed and people had the opportunity to get inside. Now you can go down to the cave along the metal stairs. However, the development of the cave began in 1965 by cavers who went down there by rope or a rope ladder. Now you will cry. I already cried. Why are you crying? Allergy? Now, when I see such powerful places, I can't fathom what powerful nature can do. The total length of the hall is 254 meters, width 265 meters, and height 25 meters. So why was the cave called the White Mosque? There is a version that the cave is compared to a mosque because of a similar vaulted dome. The legend of an unusual cave, which had no external exits, has been passed down from generation to generation. From the large hall of the mosque, 4 underground tunnels diverged to 4 corners of the world, connecting the large surrounding fortresses Turkestan, Auliya Ata and Sayran. Over time, the underground passages collapsed and the mosque was empty, but the local ranger told us a more believable story about Akmeshit Cave. There are written testimonies from the 12th, 13th centuries that the 10,000th army took refuge from the weather here in the underground cave. They had the opportunity to pray. Then this cave was 4 to 5 times wider. Its length was 2 to 3 kilometers. At the head of this army was the Kazakh Batyr Yasikeb Koykelde. He named the cave Akmeshit, referring to the fact that it protected the army and horses. Batyr also felt that this place was not simple, it had a special energy. Akmeshit attracts people with a similar energy. The cave keeper has already become a local attraction. Askar Ata has been serving as the keeper of the underground mosque for more than 20 years. The cave keeper lives nearby and every day in the morning he goes down into the cave and in the evening he comes up. Over the years, it has become more difficult for Raksakal to come up, but his grandchildren help him. Despite this, he does not leave his post. Shirakshi tells legends, prays for pilgrims, asks tourists to observe safety rules. To young people who come, I say, do not scream, do not make noise, make your wishes, walk carefully, do not climb onto the ledges, do not fall. I want them to leave this place safe and sound, due to the fact that this cave collapses and crumbles. When birds fly, small stones fall, so I ask people to wear helmets so that they do not hurt their heads. The keeper is especially worried about the children. Here is our Aziza, for example. She is a child in a way. Again, she's coming up with something. They say that if you stand right in the middle of the cave and make a wish, and a drop falls on you, which is called the tear, then the wish will come true. I already made my wish. The only thing left is to wait for the drop to fall. Look at this person. What is he doing? We laughed. Thought he was not just in himself. Then time passes, I watch someone else do the same thing, that is, people open their mouth and stand there trying to catch some drop. I thought they are just kidding. But Aziza is more serious than ever and has lots of patience. Please already. I didn't wish for too much. Just a Bentley and a couple of mansions outside the city. One dripped right next to me. Now it should drop. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it felt right on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it fell again. I did it. My dream drop. We also watched the water flow down the walls of the cave. No one knows where it came from in this deserted area. The temperature difference also attracts tourists. When it's hot outside, it's cool inside. Inside the cave there was a holy grove of elm and mulberry. The birds are singing, and I don't understand at all where this oasis is coming from in the middle of the desert. When we went here, we didn't see anything at all. Still, the nature is very powerful and can create anything. Closer to the exit, at the north wall in the cave, there is a hill made of bird droppings, guano. Guano is a valuable fertilizer. Its reserves in the cave reach 1,500 tons and indicates that the birds lived in the cave for centuries. Most likely, thanks to the presence of fertilizer, the plants feel comfortable here. Inside the cave, grove grows up to 40 mulberry and elm trees, from the largest to the smallest ones. About half of them have never seen direct sunlight. The illuminated area was conquered by a bush of wild grapes. It was exactly in this cave that we shot one of these scenes for the famous Epicstan, a video about Kazakhstan which is now available for viewing around the world. And when again people see this location, those who watch the video wonder, is it in Kazakhstan? Seriously? Yes, this is in Kazakhstan. Seriously. The heart feels a sense of pride for the country when you see such beauty. But not only for the sake of beauty people come to Akmeshit. Studies have shown that 15 minutes spent in the cave help to normalize blood pressure. A lot of people come here. Some are childless. They ask for a child. Those who are unlucky in life. Each comes with his own thoughts, opinions, desires. People don't come here for nothing. People come here only to ask for something. Speaking of the sacred and healing significance of Akmeshit, one cannot fail to recall another such place. This is Corneria Cave, located in eastern Kazakhstan. There are legends that it is here that Genghis Khan is buried. A special feature of the cave is that it has a small lake with healing water. The cave, like Akmeshit, is a major pilgrimage place. Even our ancestors healed wounds here in between battles when a temporary truce was announced. Fighting in sacred places was considered sacrilege, so the cave was the safest place. And still there is a strict custom that when one enters the cave and into the water, he must have only pure thoughts. They say that the local water heals from drug addiction, alcoholism and infertility. When you first get to Akmeshit, I don't know, you just find yourself in shock. You want to say, wow, how is this possible? How did everything appear here? Something like that. And we have it. Wow. And you think it's a great place. Here you can shoot such films. In what century are we? I do not understand. Some pterodactyls can fly in. This is an amazing place. I highly recommend going there. It is a great place for very cool photos. It seems to us that Aziza asked for a magical photo in this place. You really can't take your eyes off of the picture. Repeat the photo, put the hashtag across Central Asia and wait for the prizes. We move on. Ahead is the city of Turkestan, and while we are going there, we can't help but talk about the great river Sirdarya, flowing in this part of the country. The Sirdarya is the longest and second most watery river in Central Asia. The river originates in the Fergana Valley, where Naren and Kari-Darya rivers merge. Those in turn flow down from the Tian Shan Mountains. The Sirdarya basin is located on the territory of four republics of Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. The Sirdarya is rapidly becoming shallow. As a result of intensive economic exploitation of its waters, the volume of runoff at the mouth decreased by 10 times. The use of the Sirdarya water for irrigation of fields in Central Asia has become a decisive factor in the drying of the Aral Sea. Now the sea has almost disappeared and the Sirdarya flows into the northern part of the Aral Sea, called the Small Sea. The shallowing negatively affected the fauna. This is especially noticeable in the Uzbek part of the river. Kazakhstan part of the Sirdarya is still a paradise for fishermen. The most fishy place is the area of the Shardara reservoir. There the catch amazes you with the size and with variety and quantity of fish. Catfish, common carp, asp, trout and others can be found here. However, scientists warn that the water from the Sirdarya is not suitable for drinking. It is better not to use it for watering the fields and not to fish in it. According to the pollution index, the river belongs to the third class. Scientists have found a high concentration of heavy metals such as mercury, lead, zinc, copper, chromium, nickel and molybdenum in water. The river can be saved only by combining the efforts of all the countries of the Sirdarya basin. It is also better to develop tourism in collaboration with neighbors. The representative of a major tour operator from Kyrgyzstan shared his thoughts on how to make the region attractive for tourists together. If you think like foreigners, they don't know a certain country like Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan. In their understanding, it is all of Central Asia. When a tourist comes to us, we need to minimize all his expenses, to create the maximum of amenities and conditions so that he would not just come here and be able to immediately visit all the countries. We need to open different routes, create amenities accordingly. We need to avoid any problems and obstacles on the border, and so on. Thank you for being with us these 25 minutes. So today we learned why the mountains of Karatau were called Argentau, what prediction of Domalak came true and how the 10,000th army rested in Akmeshit Cave. Aziza was surprised to see women rolling around the floor by the tomb of the mausoleum, caught drops in the underground cave and cried because emotions overwhelmed her. We do not say goodbye. Follow us via our Across Central Asia hashtag.